Views expressed in the following program do not necessarily reflect those of WPSL. However, we are the ones who've inspired and encouraged you to like and share them on social media and with all your friends and neighbors, especially when it comes to events on the Treasure Coast. It's time for the Sue Ellen Sanders Show with your host, the one and only Sue Ellen Sanders.
Welcome, and we're so glad you're here. I was just discussing with my guests how much more fun it is to do the radio show in the studio than it was the year that we did it through Zoom. That was quite a challenge. I know Jessica Parish is one of my guests here, and she is the CEO of the United Way, but that's not the hat she's wearing today. And Carissa Vega is with us, and she is branch manager, or do you have a fancy VP title?
Different operations manager.
Okay,
operations.
Yeah. Carissa Vega with Seacoast Bank. And they're both here because they are members of the Port St. Lucie Business Women's Club. So in this show, you may know nothing about the club. You may know everything about the club. But you'll learn a little bit more than you did before. And we'll also be talking about the major fundraiser that the Port St. Lucie Business Women do. And that is the fashion show that's coming up at the end of April. So welcome, Carissa and Jessica. Who wants to give me now? So Jessica, you are officially Queen President of the club. Yes. Yeah. So why don't you kick us off by giving us a little bit of background about the Port St. Lucie Business Women?
Yeah, so Port St. Lucie Business Women started in 1980. Four local ladies got together because at the time a lot of the civic organizations wouldn't allow women to be involved. So they wanted their fair share, got together, wanted to help out the community any way they can, and from that we have grown to, I think, at the peak prior to COVID we were about 74-ish members. Of course, a lot of membership organizations have lost some members due to COVID because everything went virtual, like you were saying with the Zoom. So we're just under 50 members currently, and we focus on community activities, volunteering, and with our annual fundraiser, putting together grants and scholarships to help local women and children in St. Lucie County.
And I'm also, just to be upfront, I'm also a member of Port St. Lucie Business Women. And one of the things that I really like, and I compare this to the United Way in that, as far as the fundraising model, the Port St. Lucie Business Women is got a similar giving back model that the United Way does, kind of like as an umbrella. You don't give just to one organization or one charity. Port St. Lucie Business Women, just like United Way, gives to a lot of different organizations. Of course, it's really Port St. Lucie Business Women is just a microcosm of what the United Way does. But usually, and this was the other thing that turned the corner for me when I was deciding whether to be a member or not, is the members get to decide where the money goes every year. So it may change every year.
It could. It depends on the focus. I mean, during COVID, we utilized the funds that we had available to help fill that gap. There are a lot of agencies that don't receive enough in operating and overhead to truly function. And when COVID came about, a lot of that got stripped from agencies and grants because they were focused on direct service, buy the food, pay the utility bills, things like that. So we switched our funding a little bit just for that year to be able to help organizations with their operational expenses.
And when we're talking about funding, the main fundraiser that I was talking about, the Port St. Lucie Business Women fashion show that takes place in the spring, was actually postponed for 2 different years.
Yeah, twice.
Yeah. So this one, you're back. You're better than ever. We'll talk to Carissa a little bit more. She is co-chair of the this year's Port St. Lucie Business Women's fashion show, which is under the sea. I was going to say over the sea.
No, under the sea.
What would over the sea be even? I don't know.
Flight.
There you go.
Yes, under the sea is the theme this year.
So the fashion show is coming up right around the corner. So we're going to start off by talking a little bit about that, and then we'll talk a little bit more about the Business Women's organization. Carissa, you've been a member of the organization, and you've also been involved with putting together the fundraiser for a really long time. How long exactly?
I can say for my organization that I work for Seacoast, we've been involved probably for over 15 years. Myself, probably, I don't even know now. It's definitely over 5 years. But I've had the privilege to be on other committees and have done the silent auction and stuff like that and get things set up. And it's just a lot of fun, and it's a great way to give back to the community.
Now, only women can belong to Port St. Lucie Business Women. I mean, it's called Business Women, and you know, as Jessica said, hearkening back to the time where women weren't allowed in some of the organizations like Rotary and Kiwanis, men are not allowed in Port St. Lucie Business Women, but they are allowed and encouraged at the fashion show.
Yeah, absolutely. They're more than welcome to attend.
And I know for years my boss, Greg Wyatt, has helped to sell tickets. And
he will be back at it this year.
And he is good at it. You can't get by that man without taking money out of your wallet. So give us some details about the fashion show then, Carissa. It is April 30th, right?
It's Saturday, April 30th. This year it's going to be at...
I'm going to stop her from turning her chair one way or another. She's looking at me.
I understand. Sorry.
And get a little bit closer to the microphone, yes.
All right. Good times, right?
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so Saturday, April 30th at Santa Lucia River Club at Ballantrae. It starts at 11 a.m. It goes to 2 p.m. We will have lunch, silent auction, fashion, of course, and just good woman camaraderie. It's a lot of fun, and it's a great way to, raise money. We'd have raffle items, 50-50, silent auction, and all that money, as Jessica mentioned earlier, goes right back to the women and children in our community.
Traditionally, about how much money does this event bring in?
It's over 10,000.
Yeah, in a non-COVID year,
Yeah.
it was about 10 to 15,000, depending on the year.
And all that money, then, Jessica, talk us through a little bit with how the model for Port St. Lucie Business Women, boy, that's a mouthful. Should we just call it the Business Women?
PSLBW.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, right?
How they give away the money.
So typically all of our net proceeds, the revenue from our annual event, will go to fund scholarships through IRSC in partnership with the IRSC Foundation. So I think we have 3 standard scholarships that we fund every year to help women either re-enter the workforce, go back to get a degree after maybe they were a stay-at-home mom. There's one for a high school senior, so on and so forth. And then we also look at funding grants to agencies in the community that predominantly serve women and or children. So it could be anything. It depends on the year. Once that committee of members come together, they could decide if they want to focus, or they could just open it up to blanket programs of women and children. Some years we funded a local organization called Grace Packs that would pack backpacks that go home on Fridays so children would have food over the weekends. We funded a program through Mustard Seed Ministries for feminine hygiene products in the high school, so that if someone didn't have the means to be able to purchase those themselves, there was a local hygiene pantry on campus for them that they would be able to access. So that's just a couple of the ideas we've had so far.
And it's embarrassing enough to be caught unexpected when you're a high school girl, but then to not be able to have the money to take care of that.
Yeah.
And Grace Packs too, I was lucky enough to have the experience of having some kids who were receiving grace packs, and the way they did it was wonderful. They would just call some names down on the intercom system and have them come down to the office, or they'd call them down. And then the Grace Pack got its name because they didn't have bags full of groceries. They were packed in a backpack. So it was just like one more backpack the kid was carrying. So it was not embarrassing to them, because who wants to admit that you're receiving food to take home?
Right. Yeah, Laura Klosterman, who is the director of Grace Packs, was a teacher here in St. Lucie County, saw the need and created this out of her heart. And each school that is part of Grace Packs has a designated staff person they call a Gracie. And that person coordinates with the students and Grace Packs to make sure the correct student is getting the meals to go home over the weekend. It's a great program.
It is. And the programs that you're talking about are things that could easily get overlooked in a larger type of giveaway structure.
Yeah.
So it's nice to be able to help out through the Port St. Lucie Business Women.
Yeah, we just at United Way just closed our funding cycle, and I think the last I looked, we had about 1.6 million in requests from 46 programs. So something like a backpack program that's going home over the weekend for $1,000 a year could easily get lost in the shuffle of all of that. There's just such a need in the community, and having an avenue to meet the need at different levels is truly remarkable.
Very well said.
Thank you. Thank
Yes.
you.
Carissa, you were about to say something.
I just, it's she's right on there, and it's great that we can support that for sure through Port St. Lucie Business Women.
As a member of the group, though, your regular meetings, well, first of all, it used to be,
Zoom.
well, and I'm telling you, if a radio show is hard to do on Zoom, a businesswoman's luncheon is way harder.
I think we lost the luncheon portion, and it
Yes.
just became virtual meeting.
Yes.
You can eat at your desk if you want.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And one of the issues of Zoom is that it's hard to see people's visual cues when they're about to speak.
Yep.
And so if you could picture 20 or 25 women all together. So
Yeah, and what, about 80% have their camera off, so you don't get a visual cue. All you look for is the undoing of the microphone and hope that that means someone's going to speak.
and then half of those people are walking around with it on their phone.
And the camera's still going.
So you see the camera on the phone, and
That's always fun.
you're getting
Yes.
dizzy seeing it fly by you. Yeah. The challenges of Zoom.
Yeah.
But it was nice to have that as an in-between. And just recently, Port St. Lucie Business Women has moved back to having physical in-presence meetings.
Yep, we meet the first and third Thursday of every month at Tutto Fresco for lunch and camaraderie. And, every month we have an agenda. We probably have a speaker come in on a topic that's important to the women that are part of the organization. And then we also do member spotlights. So who is in our group? And, it's amazing when you have a group of 47 people, what you don't know about somebody.
I agree. You always learn something new.
Yeah.
Well,
during the
because you
spotlight.
kind of assume that you know everything until you don't know what you don't know.
Exactly.
So Tutto Fresco, if you are a woman and you've never been to the Port St. Lucie Business Women's group, the luncheon, you do need to be invited by a guest, but that's pretty easy to do. You can go online, check out the website, the social media presence, and maybe reach out to somebody and say, hey, I'd like to come and check this out. And Jessica, you or somebody else on the board will match
Exactly.
a person
Yep.
to
If
them.
there's anyone that's interested, they could easily just email info@pslbw.com, and a couple of us board members receive those emails, and we can quickly make the connection and invite you to the lunch.
And if it's Stephanie Morgan that you're connected with, she will never let you not go.
She will find you.
Yeah, she will find you. She will come to your door and she will pick you up.
That is
if
for
there's
sure.
Need be. A lot of the members of Port St. Lucie Business Women are, well, there's a fair amount that are in every age group. There, you have the women who are just starting off in business and using it very much as a networking type situation, and you have such a variety of businesses that are represented. You know, it's easy to, like, if you need web services, or if you need photography services, or insurance or banking.
Yep. Speaking of Stephanie Morgan, she graciously put together our member directory that all of us of members have that details all of that. Where are members working? Maybe there's a connection that we could make. You know, if you need banking assistance, call Carissa and our partner at Seacoast. You know, we have Kathy Post with Post Insurance that are part of it. So there are multiple businesses and relationships that could be built for personal needs or even professional.
Also, when you look at it from the other side, if you're needing services, and it's kind of like the good housekeeping guarantee, you know, if they're also a member of Port St. Lucie Business Women, then they know they're going to see you again. So they're not going to mess up.
They're not going to mess up. They're not going to lapse on anything because they know on the first and third Thursday you will see them.
So the lunches are back to normal. Your membership is open. Do you have a cap on your membership?
We don't. No, since we lost a lot of members due to COVID, we are trying to rebuild the membership right now. So we are actively seeking membership.
What's neat too, I was mentioning some of the younger members, but you also have some of the members who. Do you still have founding members that come?
We
to
do.
lunches?
Lee Hicks still comes. She's one of our founding members. And then we also have honorary members. So those that were in a managerial or leadership role at their prime in their career and have since retired, they can continue their membership as honorary members, and they still come to the lunch. Yeah.
In order to become a member, though, you have to live or work in Port St. Lucie.
Correct.
So you don't necessarily have to do both. You just have to do one.
Correct. Yep.
Or your business has to.
Well, they have to be based in. It's not like you could be based in Martin County and have a couple clients, and you have to be based in St. Lucie County.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. So, Carissa, what would you say is the best part that you've gotten from being a member?
Building the relationships with the women.
Relationships.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And like what you said earlier, when there's a need out there, you know, you see these women twice a month at minimum, and then you have them as a resource, or you gain that friendship.
Yep. Exactly.
And they know where to find you, both good and bad.
Yes. Right. But it's also building that team of basically friends. You know, when we're going through something hard, like a divorce or a death or something like that, you have this group that you could lean on. We had several honorary members come to our last lunch and really talk about what Port St. Lucie Business Women meant to them, and that camaraderie, and how when they were struggling, this was a group that they knew they could count on and just, you know, chat with and really take their mind off certain things.
Back in the 1980s, when this group was first getting started, though, it was more unusual to have a lot of women in managerial roles. And it was kind of like we were pigeonholed. We weren't allowed to be part of the networking group, the groups like Rotary and Kiwanis that were out there. And so we couldn't climb the ladder that way and make those relationships that are so important. And, you know, of course, in the 90s and beyond, it's almost, I would like to say it's as common to find women in managerial roles and in business. And this way the women have their own group, and that now we're allowed in Rotary and Kiwanis too. So
yeah, but I think there's a different level, and I'll probably get chastised, but I think there's a different level when you're in a group and it's all women. Like, there's a different understanding amongst us as ladies of what we all go through, raising families, working full time, you know, keeping up with life, really.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a different level than I think what you would get at other groups.
I definitely agree that the level of multitasking that women have to do is crazy different than any man.
Right.
And even my husband would have to admit that. Because, you know, with all things being equal, even when he and I were at the same managerial level, I was the one who took the kids to the doctors, to the dogs, to the vet, made the arrangements. He was in charge of outdoors. I was in charge of everything else. And I love the total man attitude of well, I would have done that for you if you had asked me to do that. And my answer, whether spoken or just said in my head, was always, I shouldn't have to tell you what needs to be done. So it's definitely a different mindset.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the women, we can all relate to what's going on, whether it's, you know, challenges in our professional career, challenges raising children, I mean, challenges in relationships. There's someone in the group that could relate to you and help guide you through it.
Or the empty nester challenge, or... You know,
going into retirement, what life is like after retirement. You know, there's little groups after that you could still be a part of.
It's definitely unique to women, that the things that we have to deal with. So, and anyhow, we've talked about membership itself. We've talked about some of the organizations that you help. Also, women, you mentioned the scholarships pairing with the IRSC Foundation. And some of the women who you've helped through scholarships, they have to apply through the foundation office. But the women who are going back to school, who, especially now after a pandemic, can we ever say after?
No,
Are we
I don't
allowed
think
to
so.
say after?
I think it's just a continuation.
Yes.
Like the year
As
just
the
continues.
pandemic waxes and wanes. How about that?
That's perfect.
Okay. But needs have changed, and people's jobs and job duties have changed, and there's never been a more important time to go back to school or right now the field for employment is wide open. There are a lot of opportunities for everybody, including women.
I think whatever side of this pandemic we are on, there's obviously a greater need for continuing education or expanding education because the pandemic has shifted a lot of things. Virtual environments, flex work schedules, all different things have changed because of the pandemic. And then the need on the nonprofit side has just quadrupled, really. With people being laid off, businesses closing, the need is just so great. So luckily, when we were 2 years out and not hosting a fashion show, one of our members came up with a creative idea to continue fundraising of some sort so that we could continue to fund grants and scholarships throughout those 2 years, even though we didn't have a fashion show.
So tell us about that.
You like that segue? I did that for you.
That was great. And Jessica and I were going to talk about it because we're wearing brick color.
I know. It's kind of crazy. But Diane Gallagher came up with the idea of a brick pathway project. So in front of City of Port St. Lucie City Hall, we have a tree that was dedicated for, I believe, our 30th anniversary. So during this pandemic, we celebrated our 40th anniversary. And as part of the 40th anniversary celebration, since we couldn't do an in-person event, Diane came up with this brick paver project. Now, bricks can be purchased that will lead up to the tree right in front of City Hall, and you can use it to memorialize a loved one that has passed, your business, just congratulate PSLBW. There's all different uses that you can have engraved on the brick.
Can people still get bricks?
They can. The link is still on our website, so we're still selling the bricks until I guess we run out of space. But it seems like they keep making the path wider and wider.
Yep. Well, I would think that they could. They could just
you just keep expanding it. Yeah.
Follow the brick road.
Exactly, and end up making a circle around the tree, add some benches.
There you go.
Yeah.
Get very creative there.
Yeah, you can. And it's just a wonderful way to, as Jessica said, remember somebody or say even do something that tells your loved one that even though they're not dead, you still appreciate them.
Right.
Boy,
Yep.
that came out really bad. See, Carissa, that's a perfect example of how not to phrase something. Tell someone if they're not dead that you still love them.
Or even to memorialize your organization's success. You know,
Yes.
you could put Inner Truth just celebrated their 10th anniversary,
And Mindy did a brick for
Exactly.
their
Yeah,
10th
so-
anniversary.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, or someone could celebrate the 10th anniversary of the Inner Truth Project by purchasing a brick too.
Yep. There's
How
many different ways that you could have inscribed or engraved on this brick that it'll be there forever.
So during the 2 years that there was no fashion show, you were able to do the bricks, and now the fashion show is back.
Mm-hmm.
And let's talk about some of the ways you raise money in the fashion show. We're not going to use the R word because we don't use that on radio.
Got it.
But we can talk about opportunities to win that that people can have, and then of course the silent auction, which to me is the greatest shopping trip of all, because the money raised goes to Port St. Lucie Business Women and through Port St. Lucie Business Women to the community and to organizations that are in need. And
Yeah.
I get stuff.
And you get stuff. It's perfect like Christmas shopping in April.
Yes.
Yes, you can regift it all.
Yeah,
If you had to.
100% of the proceeds go straight into scholarship and grants. We're a completely volunteer organization that are operating as funded through our membership dues. So everything we raise through the fashion show goes to all the grants and scholarships. It's amazing.
So, for one thing, people can purchase tickets,
Mm-hmm.
or they can purchase sponsorships too. Carissa, do you have some information on sponsorships for us?
Absolutely. We have several levels of sponsorship, anywhere from $300 to $2,000. We still have them available. We do have a deadline of April 15th because we want to
Okay.
make sure that we recognize our sponsors. So you can reach out to any of us at Port St. Lucie Fashion Show at pslbw.com.
And you can find the link.
You can find the
on
link on our
the
website. And then, again, we have plenty of opportunities there. We also have opportunities to do an ad if you want to put a business card in the program as well to recognize your organization or
and
yourself.
show your support.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yep.
I think the business card ads start at
$50.
$50. Yeah,
Yeah, so it's very reasonably
There
priced.
is. Yes.
absolutely.
Then, as far as the silent auction items, you have all sorts of different things, from services to gift baskets to liquor.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, we've been collecting items for 2 years.
Yeah. So basically, quite a lot.
Absolutely. If you
yeah.
like wine, come on over. 'cause
We have a
there's
lot of wine.
Carissa, are you still storing it all?
We actually
Oh,
moved it
yeah.
over to United Way. Thank you,
Yeah.
Jessica.
So now Jessica is.
I do.
storing
I
it.
have it all. Getting ready to do all of our baskets. So we'll
Uh-huh.
be putting them into baskets for the silent auction coming up, I think, the week before.
Yep.
We have a basket making party.
And that's a lot of fun to be a part of if you're creative soul, or even if you're not. you also have things like trips and occasions and attractions, right? What are some of the things that you know that we have over the last two years accumulated?
I can tell you that one of our chances to win would be a 2-night stay at River Palms Cottages in Jensen Beach. I don't know if we have anything else right now for trips.
Not that we can announce, yeah.
Yeah,
We got to keep
But
some
you're
stuff
working on
secret,
it.
Sue
Yes,
Ellen.
yeah.
I mean, that keeps the mystery alive. But as usual, we have a necklace that was donated from Greg at G. Allen's that'll be an opportunity for
Yes.
purchase and a ring that goes along with it. So we do have a lot of great stuff.
So he's up the ante then.
It ties with our theme, so it's a beautiful octopus shape with two diamond eyes.
Two diamond eyes.
Yeah.
Oh, how cool is
Yep.
that?
So it goes with the under the sea theme.
Under the sea, do you expect the people who come to the event to also dress for the theme?
I think we'll have some there that may.
Well, I think that's what makes it fun, right?
Yeah.
Dressing up in the theme and getting into it.
So you're expecting some mermaids.
Yeah, well, fully clothed would be preferable. Maybe with like seashells on the dress.
I think the bar has been raised for Greg Wyatt.
I think so too.
I think that he would be an awesome merman.
Make a note, I didn't make any of the suggestion.
Yes.
You're going on record for that.
Yes,
yeah.
yes, absolutely.
We
Categorically
could get him an
denied on-
awesome Triton. And
That's what I'm thinking.
it'd be
Yes.
perfect.
Yeah, yeah.
And
The
then-
flowing beard.
Yeah, that will be fun. We also have these like really 2 big shells that we'll be able to take some pictures in. That I think is going to be really fun.
So photo opportunities.
Yes, definitely.
Yep.
That'll be great. And then there's the opportunity to purchase things. There's the opportunity to win through your opportunities to win.
Yes.
And the fashion show. What are the fashions going to be like? Are they going to be
Okay.
under the sea?
No.
No.
Yeah, they will not.
We're excited. We have several fashions this year, and some of it will be a mystery to us. It will not be under the sea, but I think we'll have some really interesting and exciting stuff.
So maybe resort wear? It's
Well, it's
Florida.
more local designers, so their couture collection really
Yes.
custom-made outfits that they typically put out for a spring or fall collection. So it's gonna be it's up in the ante on the fashions this year for sure.
Can you share
Yeah.
who's involved?
Absolutely.
I'll leave that to Carissa.
So we have Sabre. Oh gosh, I hope I say this right.
What could she know?
There
Yep.
you go.
Yep.
Thank
Good work.
you so much.
Sabre will be showcasing
Yep, and is it Kali?
Khalid Jackson.
Kali Jackson. I apologize there. Sporty Girl Apparel and Gambina Couture.
Wow, so that's
So-
really going to be
Mhm.
high level. Are any of the fashions going to be available to purchase too, or you have to follow up with the
You'll have to follow
designer?
up with the designer because a lot of them do custom design wear just for you to fit your shape and size. So it would all be custom from them.
You know, they say that, and I know that's true, but then the pictures they post are of all these skinny girls. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
What
I
is
know.
that going to look like on me, right?
that big loud pattern, it's going to be
Yeah.
all over my butt.
Yeah. But it's going to be a great opportunity to showcase some of the local talent in St. Lucie County
Agreed.
because all of them are based in St. Lucie.
They are, which is really amazing when
I
you
know.
think about it. Who's going to be the models?
So they're supplying their own
Not it.
models.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, they're bringing their own
Exactly.
models with it.
That's awesome. Yeah. Again, as I said, the modelly shapes. That's good.
Yeah. It's exciting.
It'll be a great time. I'm looking forward to it.
And I know that Sabre has particularly outfitted a lot of women that I know. So his couture is very reasonably priced. And, you know, he takes a look at your body shape and then he gives you a design and a material that's going to look good for you.
Yeah, and I know some of our members have also gone through Kali for custom dresses for certain events that are coming up in their life. So it's great to bring them back into the fold and showcase them as part of our group.
If you're a parent of a prom age child, Jessica's rolling her
Yeah,
eyes.
I have a 16-year-old.
I miss those days. I miss those days desperately. There was one year that my daughter went to 3 different proms, and it was so much fun.
Did you do 3 dresses, Sue Ellen?
She wore one dress to 2 of the proms.
Okay.
And
right.
not happily, I might add.
My daughter's going to 2, and
Yeah.
she's been blowing up my phone
Yeah.
with pictures of. We already bought one dress,
Yeah.
but now it's a second dress because the initial dress we purchased doesn't match the theme.
Oh, well.
Yeah, so she's going to 2. We've already secured 1, and now it's crunch time. Her prom is April 30th, same day as our fashion show.
Nice.
And now I got to find a second dress.
You know who else's prom is April 30th? Not to segue completely, but Pace Center for Girls is having a
yes.
prom on April 30th as well. So
There's a lot going on April 30th.
There is. It's going to be a long day and night for some of us.
That'll be you, Jessica.
That'll be me. Fashion show all morning, leave, do hair, makeup, get her out the door, and wait till she hopefully
up
makes
till she
curfew.
goes.
Exactly. Hopefully makes curfew.
Hopefully.
You're dreaming.
I know,
Well,
right?
hopefully you'll win some wine so you can sit back at night and just have a glass of wine while
Well, we do have a bar available during the fashion show, a cash bar. So,
For those of us who don't have evening activities to go to.
or for those of us that have stressful evening activities that they have to handle.
Very true.
Yes.
As Ballantrae, St. Lucia at Ballantrae, let's talk about them just a little bit, because Maria Bordano is a member of Port St. Lucie Business Women, and the spread that they put on and the view there is just magnificent.
It is amazing, and for several years our fashion show was held there, and then we outgrew the space, believe it or not. The fashion show started bringing in about 350 people on an annual event, and because of COVID we've had to shrink it down a little bit, so we're returning to Ballantrae this year.
And I bet Maria will be really glad to see you. The last time that I went to a book signing there.
Yes.
Did you go to the book
I was
signing?
there.
Okay, here's another good segue for us.
It is.
Is Melissa Winstead a member of
She
Port
is.
St. Lucie Business Women? I thought
Yeah.
she was. So her daughter, Ashley, just published her second book. Actually,
Yesterday.
she has... I've already started it. I had it pre-ordered.
Did you? I haven't ordered
did.
it.
This
I'm waiting
is
for
even
the
better
third one.
than the first.
Is
so
it? Oh, man,
her
I'm gonna have
first
to
book,
order it.
Ashley is just an ordinary person like you and I, who just has been working on a book, and so she's not self-published or anything. Nothing
No,
against self-published people, but she's got a big-time publisher, and her first book dropped last fall, and it was in my arms.
In my dreams, I hold a
I
knife.
hold a knife. And then the second one just dropped yesterday, but I already had it delivered, and it's a rom-com. It's her first try at a rom-com, and I've already started it, and the main character is at a Disney-themed wedding. I mean, can you
Okay.
imagine?
Oh, man. All right, I need to order that one.
Okay.
I know,
so-
I haven't yet. I'm
so
waiting
just-
for her third book. We got a little sneak peek at the book signing last year when the first one came out of what's in the pipeline.
Now, Ashley lives in Texas, but of course, Melissa is the development director for Habitat for Humanity, and there are a lot of nonprofit administrators that are part of Port St. Lucie Business Women too. And this will give you an idea, if you're listening to the show, of the different connections that we're able to make that are lifelong connections. Because as soon as Ashley posted that her book was being published, her mom posted it, and all of us went out and bought it. And I would like to think that we're the reason the book was so successful. Nothing about Ashley's impeccable writing style and, her perseverance. And but Melissa, being the proud mom, had at St. Lucia, she had a book signing for her.
Yeah.
And Ashley didn't roll her eyes once. So, Jessica, there's hope for you and I. And Carissa, you have a daughter, my daughter's age as well.
Yes. It does get a little bit better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does.
Well, I'm holding out,
They don't roll. If it gets to the point when they're in their 20s, they don't roll their eyes in front of you anymore.
There you go. That's the best way to put it.
All right.
So that's as good as it gets. Anyhow, I'm really looking forward to the brunch and the fashion show being at Ballantrae this year. Again, the date is April 30th.
Yep.
From 11 to 2. Do you think it's going to sell out?
I think we're capped at about 200 tickets, and to date, as of yesterday, we sold around 150. So we're almost there.
Yes. So if you're planning on buying a ticket,
buy it now.
Go ahead, and you can do that online as well.
Yep, at our website, pslbw.com.
And I actually, not to bring Stephanie up again, but I think she'll drive to your house and take your check.
Absolutely.
Oh, she probably will. Yes. If you message us and say you're not comfortable purchasing online and you want to pay through check, she will most likely drive to your house.
Can you request who you're sitting with?
You can, yeah. On the registration link, there's a little box that says, I prefer to sit with, or table requests or something along those lines that you can fill in.
And the tickets are $60 each?
They are, yes.
Yeah. So April 30th from 11 to 2, the famous Port St. Lucie Business Women's Fashion Show and Brunch is back. And you can buy tickets, but only for a while because they're going to go fast.
It's about to sell out, yeah.
If you want to donate stuff for a basket, either services or attractions or liquor or some type of thing, like for example, I brought Carissa a cute little basket with the free entries to the Donut Dash that I'm putting together for Pace Center for Girls. And this is a good opportunity. So it's not just when you give something to Port St. Lucie Business Women, it's not just something you're giving out of the goodness of your heart, although that should be good enough.
Yeah.
You can showcase.
But you can showcase your business or the event you're doing or whatever. You get an opportunity to promote yourself. Same thing with the program ads as well.
Yeah, if anyone is interested in donating anything, really, a bottle of liquor, because we have wine, they could just email us at fashionshow@pslbw.com, and we can coordinate and go pick it up from you, and you could drop it off. We could coordinate all of that.
And then you also still could, if you would rather not be a part of the fashion show in that way, you could still donate to the Port St. Lucie Businesswomen through the bricks.
Absolutely. Yep. The bricks, and to order a brick is also on our website. So if you visit pslbw.com, there's a link on there for our brick paver project also.
And if you enjoyed listening to this show and you wish you could be friends with Jessica and Carissa too, then there's a seat for you at the table at the Port St. Lucie Business Women's Group, and it's easy to join.
Yep.
Like I said, you do need to have a sponsor. You need to either work or live in Port St. Lucie, and you can reach them through their website or through their social media.
Yep, absolutely.
Anything else that you ladies would like to add about the event or the organization?
I think we're just excited. After 2 years, we're back and looking forward to the support of the community coming together to raise, the funds for our grants and scholarships. So we look forward to getting together with everyone again.
Perfect.
It is, and it is such a fun group to be a part of. There's women of every age and background, and such a mixture of businesses and services. You network with each other, but you also are there beyond your business and service
Yep.
networking. Jessica, what has been your greatest challenge so far in your year as president?
In my 4 months as president.
Yes.
um.
That's almost halfway. That's 1/3.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
You're looking at it optimistically.
Yes.
Really, it's just getting back. You know, we have a lot of people that are just figuring out what life is going to be like in
And
this
that's
hybrid
me.
environment,
Yeah.
and just getting people to come. You know, we have a membership of 47-ish around there, and we average about 20 at lunch. So it's just getting them to come back and to rejoin and be an active member again.
At lunch, they're kind of spread out in the tables. You're not all grouped together at one big table.
Right.
So if
yeah.
you're nervous about that,
Right. We do have the ability to spread out over multiple tables in the main dining room.
you know, one of the other things that I didn't mention, you did mention that there's speakers at most of the meetings. But if you want to be a speaker, you can also reach out to the Port St. Lucie Business Women. Now, of course, you can't just promote your business.
Right.
You have to have an organization or a need or an issue that fits what the businesswomen are doing.
Yeah, or be knowledgeable in a topic that could affect, you know, the women in their business. We've had speakers talk about cybersecurity and what we should look at from a business perspective and having cyber insurance, or, you know, bringing in.
So what did they say? Yes? Do we
Yes,
need?
and yes, and yes.
All right, that's one more thing for me to stress about.
Yeah, I mean, or even we've had Carissa Aronson, CEO from the Chamber, come in and talk about what's going on the Chamber side and how is that affecting businesses here locally. And it all depends on what is offered. But if they're interested in coming to speak to our group, they could reach out on the website on the Contact Us link or email info@pslbw.com.
Right. And then, you know, there's also a Facebook page. It's
Yep.
Port St. Lucie Businesswomen. So if you want to look it up that way, you can.
Yep.
Carissa, in your years with Port St. Lucie Businesswomen, where do you think you're going to head next? Do you think you're going to be president next year?
I don't know if I'm going to be president next year. We'll see. I've been asked a couple of times, but you know, sometimes the role makes it a little bit challenging at work when there's changes. But I definitely enjoy being part of the group, and at some point will be in a leadership role.
Well, you're already in a leadership role
I know.
here. As co-chair of the fashion show, and your other co-chair is Jill Todd. And I know that she was excited that you had the Under the Sea theme for 2 years, because the school she formerly worked at did the production of Little Mermaid. And so she had those big shells and the stuff like
Yes.
that, which is awesome. And, you know, maybe after you finally get to have the Under the Sea fashion show, then you could pass those things on to somebody else who's doing
Yeah.
production. So
Absolutely.
so you've got some dynamite props that people can look forward to. You have Greg Wyatt to look forward to being who's the guy again? The dad with the
King
Triton.
King Triton, I think.
Yeah,
It's been so long since
Either
I've
that or
seen it.
Neptune, somewhere.
Neptune. Well,
Poseidon.
Poseidon has
Poseidon.
the,
Let's
has
go
the
with
Triton.
Poseidon, because
Okay.
he's the one that's got the Triton and.
All right. Or you could just wear something that's pretty blue and green and the colors of the sea. Or
Yeah.
One of the things that's nice is it's an opportunity to dress up.
Mm.
And,
Yeah.
you know, I don't sneeze at opportunities to dress up anymore, because,
So true.
yeah, you want to be in a safe, welcoming environment to do that.
Yeah.
So, just got a couple more minutes. We have the fashion show that is coming up. It's April 30th from 11 to 2. The tickets are $60. We've been talking to Jessica Parish, who is the president of the Port St. Lucie Business Women. And she's only been in that position for 4 4
4 months, Sue Ellen.
months, yes. No, and
There you go, next year.
so if you want to join, she'll still be president until when is your year end?
We do installation in December.
In December.
Yeah.
So calendar year.
Yep.
And Carissa Vega, you may have previously known her as Carissa Zerga, but now she's Carissa Vega. She's still with Seacoast, and she is the co-chair of the fashion show, and she'll take your checks, your money, your gifts, anything that you want to give to be a part of this thing. You can find Port St. Lucie Business Women again on the website at
PSLBW.com.
.com.
Yep.
Okay, or you can find them on Facebook. You know what? I just realized that I still haven't turned my check in for my brick.
Ah,
I know. I was just like thinking about it. So I'm going to be sure to get. I think what
I will
stopped
text
me-
Stephanie right now.
You will.
That's it. She's knocking on your door
Done.
later.
She's coming to your house.
Yeah. I think my issue was I wasn't really sure what to say on my brick.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
We struggled with that too.
We did too.
you did.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So what'd you say?
We ended up putting on there Seacoast Bank supports Port St. Lucie businesswomen.
Okay.
And I think we ended up saying United Way congratulates on the 40th anniversary, something along those lines.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
Yeah.
that's simple enough. I
Yeah.
could do that.
Yeah.
All right. Put Stephanie on it. She'll pick it
I
up.
will.
A lot of wonderful women that come together twice a month, and they do it to network, to spend time together, to share each other's thoughts, but they also raise money for different charities that help women and children too. So anyhow, if you're interested, you can find them on the website or on Facebook. Jessica and Carissa have been my guests today. Thank you both very much for
Thank
joining
you.
me.
Thank you.
And you've been listening to the Sue Ellen Sanders Show. I'm here every weekend with more.
And check out our programming schedule at WPSL.com to find out exactly when to look for, where to look for the Sue Ellen Sanders Show. You don't want to miss these great events. This is WPSL Port St. Lucie, the talk of the Treasure Coast, webcaster to the world on Google Home, Alexa, and the TuneIn app on your smartphone.